Okay. Well, let's see. I need a real intro to these. Now that I might be doing them. So, Sheikahzen here. That's just, no. I don't, I don't know where I got the term "hey shippers." I just, I, I probably felt like no one had used that before and I wanted to be original. Well, hey shippers! I'm Sheikahzen, and going through my questions again, and for my second question of the day, Link5963 asked, how did you get so many followers? I have no idea. Yeah, that's a normal answer for me. I just really don't know. I never really did anything to specifically get followers. I mean, my writing wasn't about recognition. It was about what I wanted to read and what I wanted to write. And I don't know, I started writing at 13 because I couldn't find anything that I wanted to read. I started getting into romance fanfiction, and I was just reading one-shots, like 7 minutes one-shots, which were ridiculous. But I couldn't find that many that were Z-Link, and at that point, I think it was years ago, so I don't remember that well, but I'm pretty sure it was because of Skyward Sword and how much their romance was hinted at in that game that I really got interested in the Z-Link romance, and I couldn't find any. I mean, I found some, but they weren't very good. Okay, granted, this was 2011, so I mean, most of you weren't writing back then, or I just couldn't find it. I didn't even know Wattpad existed. I was writing on DeviantArt, and on DeviantArt there is not that much of a fan base for... Well, there was a fan base for Z-Link, but I wasn't that good of an artist in 2011, so I wasn't about to go draw any of that stuff, and so writing was what I had, and at that point my experience with writing was from my roleplay, and so I just kind of followed the 7 minutes in Heaven template and wrote my own Z-Link, and I think the first one that I ever wrote, gosh, I can't remember, I think it was Best Friends Forever. Was that what I called it? I'm so sorry. It was the one where Zelda goes to Kokiri Forest, and there's this party that Dark is throwing in Link's house, his room, his tree room. For one, I don't even know why Dark was there. That doesn't even make sense. And second, it was crap. It really was. It was like 700 words of crap. But, I mean, at that age, I did not care. I couldn't recognize it as such. That was, at that time, the best of my abilities. And now being able to look back at it and say that it's crap means that I have improved so much. So I'm grateful that I can look back and say that it's so bad because I've improved. Anyway, I got I'm reading what I wrote and released on Wattpad, and I'm just going off on rabbit trails because, hey, I can. So yeah, I had about, I think even at this point, I have like 27 watchers on DeviantArt, which is not that many compared to my 460 followers on Wattpad. So yeah, DeviantArt was definitely not a good platform for writing, because it's an art site. I mean, it lets you release writing, but it isn't very accommodating for it, and I was glad when I found Wattpad. I mean, I'm glad that I found Wattpad. I don't even remember how I felt or when I even found Wattpad. That's not even in my memory. So I had found Wattpad, and then for some reason, I only uploaded those 4 one-shots, and then I just kind of left. They didn't even have proper covers. They were like the default flower covers. They didn't even have any words on it. No wonder no one read them. Plus, they were crap and unedited because I had written them 6 years ago. Yeah. So I quit writing those for a few years, and 2 years ago, I somehow found Wattpad again. I don't know how. I don't know why. I have a feeling my friend Taco and I were talking about it, but I really don't remember. But, you know, I read through my one-shots again, and I decided I want to keep writing this. I like this. I want to keep going. And I think in just a week, I wrote all of Winter Break. And maybe in the next few days or the next week, I wrote all of Stargaze. And I just, back then, I don't know what was up, but I wrote so fast. Like, I wrote 42,000 words in a little over a month while I was in school. I can't even write that fast now that I'm graduated. I don't know. I wish I had some sort of inspiration for why I started writing, but I really don't. And my only motivation was because I wanted to read it. Which sounds... I don't know, I really didn't care if people liked it or not. I liked when they liked it. It was really nice when they complimented and said that they liked it, but it wasn't my main motivation for writing. And I don't know, I just... yeah, I got lost there. Yeah, I think since I didn't exactly care, I wasn't writing for people. It meant that I didn't care. I wasn't crippled in my writing by being worried if people would like it or if they would dislike it. And it was really that all that mattered to me was if I liked it or not. I mean, at that point, no one was reading it, so, I mean, is that selfish? It's probably selfish. These days, it's totally different. Like, my main motivation is all of you guys and all of your kind words, and I have been completely blown away with how many people like my stuff. I mean, every time I get a nice comment or whatever, it blows my mind. It warms my heart, and, oh, it's incredible. I don't know what I did to deserve it. I didn't really do anything to deserve it. Anyways, how did I get so many followers? I do not know. I liked what I was writing. I kept writing it. I don't know. I think that's really important because chances are, if you like what you're writing, if you're pleased with what you've published, other people will probably like it. You are the hardest critic of your own work. I mean, it's the sad truth. You can write amazing things and you can still you can hate it. You can think that it's complete and utter rubbish, but if you like it, then it's probably pretty good. I mean, I don't know how I felt. I mean, when I was young, I liked what I wrote and it was crap, but I guess as you mature and realize that your old stuff is worse, it just takes a lot of time before your writing meets your own standards, I guess. And sometimes my writing meets my standards and sometimes it doesn't, and that's when I edit the heck out of it. So a reason I think I might have had have a lot of followers, or might have gained them so quickly, is that I wrote really fast. Like, there was actually a reason to follow me, because, you know, someone who's kind of inactive, there's no reason to follow them. You're not getting any notifications. You don't even know if they're going to see that you followed them, if they're going to keep writing. I mean, there's no reason to follow someone who's inactive, even if you like their writing, because you probably aren't going to get any notifications. So yeah, I used to publish a new book like every other week. Like I wrote them ridiculously fast. Granted, they were only like 6,000 words long, but I still wrote them really fast, and I updated like at least once a day. I remember one of my stories, like I wrote it all in like 2 days, and then I updated once a day, and people really liked that. So if you're working on a book, you should not should I don't I, you could save it and write a lot of chapters, save them all, and then release them like one a week or once or twice a week, and like it's this continuous stream. It's almost like breadcrumbs that your readers can follow rather than just uploading it all at once and just drowning them. I mean, for me, maybe who's already well established, I could do that, but then there would be this long wait where you guys would have nothing to read, and for me, I like having bits and pieces at a time. I like having something every other day that I can read and enjoy rather than reading it all in one day, because I just binge read, and that's what I do. And I'm really sorry. I wrote, maybe you're thinking at this point, but Sheikahzen, you haven't updated weekly for so long. And yeah, I know, I'm really, really sorry. And I've just been really busy. Like, my entire days these last 2 weeks have been full, like, so full. And I've kind of tried to write during them, but I have so many things to write, so many things to work on. I'm trying to work on raising the stakes. Anyways, answering the question, I think I may have so many followers because I write for myself as well as for you guys. I write what I like, which means I can keep going, because if you don't like what you're writing, you just stop. And I have a lot of content. I'm always working on more. When you follow me, I hope you know that there's always going to be more. Unless something terrible happens and I can no longer write, I'm gonna keep going for years because I have so many ideas. You guys have stuck with me for so long. I owe you more stories. And I want to give you all of these stories that are in my head, and I love these ideas, and I have to finish the ones I'm on before I start a new one, because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. When I release a story, it's kind of like a promise, and once I've released that, I don't want to break that promise. And I've done that once before, and I never want to do that again. When I started writing Too Far, I liked the idea, but through the month that I was working on it, I realized it wasn't the kind of story that Sheikahzen writes. It was too heavy. I mean, it wasn't even that bad, but for me, for the kind of stories that I write, it was too much, and I wanted to stop. It didn't convey the sort of true emotions that I think really belong in a relationship, and the way that they were faking it for fun rather than, in Raising the Stakes, they're faking it for a reason, but in Too Far, they were faking it just to amuse themselves, and that, after a while, that almost sickened me. So yeah, I deleted that one, but and I didn't finish, but I did save some of it. I mean, the cookies one shot is an edited version of one of the scenes in Too Far, and I loved that scene, so I reworked it into something new, but that is totally off topic. I'm sorry. I'm always working on more. So, yeah. That concludes that question, and I'll see you on the next.